Hey, this is Jessica Hammer, host of Crowned and Dangerous. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Hey, this is Lee.
And this is Chelsea.
And we are the host of your new favorite sales podcast, See Jane Sell.
Join us every Thursday for a new episode where we will tackle the realistic world of sales and maybe teach you a thing or two along the way.
You can subscribe to See Jane Sell on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, CastBox, and Spotify. Thanks, and enjoy the following podcast on Public House Media.
What is up, Rewritten crew? It's Julianne Condia, the host of Rewritten. Thanks for tuning in. You know it means so much to me. If you could screenshot this episode and upload it to Instagram when you're done and tag me, let me know how this episode spoke to you. I would greatly appreciate it. I love reading about why you tune into Rewritten, what it's doing for you, and you know that I'm cheering for you, I am excited for you, and I just want nothing but the best for you. Thank you for just being someone who wants to grow with me, and I just think it's really cool to live life like that. So today's episode is something that I really think we all need to hear, and it's something that I need to remind myself of. And have you ever gotten news or had a conversation with someone you love so much and it was massively difficult? Maybe it caught you by surprise. Maybe you found out and they didn't tell you. Who knows? Whatever it is, have you ever been in that situation where you're taken back? You don't know how to respond, and then there's confliction with how you feel and how you feel like you should respond, or maybe regret based on how you responded. And I just want to walk you through this process of what this looks like for me in my life, of when I get news that's hard to hear or surprising to hear. And it's happened. It's life. When you have relationships, when you have amazing people in your life, you care about people, it's going to happen. You're going to have tough conversations. You're going to have conversations that rock you, maybe gut you. You're going to have conversations that leave you feeling confused or worried. And I just think that God made us for community. God made us to build relationships. And I do really believe that hard times can build you. And I think that transformation happens when changes happen, and I just think that when we're more aware of how we want to be to the people that we love, that can be our reminder of how to take hard news. So when I get hard news, I don't know if this is because of my parents, but I swear you could tell them anything and they just would love you. Even if it was something really hard, or you can tell that they were disappointed or worried or uncertain for you, or you could tell that, they wanted to fix it. They just allowed a space to love me and love my brother and allow us to figure it out, but work with us through it. And I really do think that's helped me be able to navigate through tough conversations, hard conversations where it doesn't have to be to where you feel defeat, but you're worried for that friend. You're worried for that family member. You don't want them to get hurt. You don't want them to suffer. You don't want them to struggle. And so when people tell me news that I'm stunned by or shocked and I don't really know how to take it all in, my biggest thing is that I respond in love. I try to remove my emotions, thoughts, opinions to the side and just let that person know I'm here. I might not support the actions that they took or the decisions that they've made or the life that they live or whatever. But I think the biggest thing and the most important thing for me in the relationships in my life, because tough times and things like this grow you and it grows relationships, is to respond in love. Thank you for feeling so safe to be able to tell me this. My heart is so thankful that you would open up like this. Thank you for your vulnerability. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for knowing that I'm here and that I love you and I'm not going anywhere. I need time to process, right? Those are some words and phrases that I've used with people that I love so dearly in my life that have been able to open up and express to me. I swear I have a lot of wonderful people in my life that do come to me, because I think the mistake that most people make is that they get emotionally hijacked. And it's out of scarcity, it's out of fear, it's out of worry, it's out of all of these assumptions. And so a lot of times what people will do is freak out or kind of go legalistic, law-based, or throw out their opinions, try to fix it, try to prevent hurt, try to, stop it, whatever it may be. And I just think when someone is coming to you with such vulnerability of emotion and feelings, that the thing that they need is just to know that you love them. And you have every right, my friend, to process this, to feel hurt, to worry, and to feel that is all so valid. But when this person is coming to you, the best thing we can do is respond in love. Even when it's so different from what you would choose to do. And I have found that that has grown my relationships, that has grown my understanding, that's helped me see people through a different lens. It's helped me see life through a different lens of, even if I wouldn't choose that or react that way or live like that, I can still have someone in my life that is going through that. And just being able to have that trust there and that vulnerability, it matters a lot to me. And it is the worst thing to do with trying to fix it. And I think it's just one of those things where you just don't want the people you love in your life to feel pain. And you want to stop them from feeling it. I think about, moving to California. We had a lot of family members and close friends, try to push their fear onto us about why we shouldn't move there. And I know it's because they were worried we would struggle. And they wanted to prevent that. When I decided to quit my teaching job, people were really worried about that. And so they projected fear or scenarios that weren't even real. They were trying to assume scenarios that would happen in the future. And all because they didn't want me to struggle. They didn't want me to go through something hard. And when you have someone coming to you on their hands and on their knees, being vulnerable, they need love. They don't need the solution. And I'm sure they'll ask for it if they can, but I think the thing is that life is meant to be lived in the way where we learn through our pain, we learn through our changes, we learn through our transformations, and we cannot prevent people in our lives from having pain. We just can't. There's nothing we can do to prevent that, and we try, and we just have to trust that the person who's making these decisions and whatever, that they are making what they think is the best decision for themselves. And if it doesn't work out the way that they thought that it would, we have to trust that this is going to build them up, that this is going to give them resilience, this is going to give them a new perspective, this is going to grow them to be the best possible version of themselves. And you being there to support them in their vulnerability is everything. Because I have a lot of people I link arms with in life that aren't the same as me. They live differently. They feel differently. They react differently. They have different love languages, right? If you know the Enneagram, they have different personality types, right? I surround myself with a lot of different people, and we're not always going to be the same. And I think that that's powerful. And we have to know that the people in our lives, they're going to go through things that we don't always agree with or that are hard for us to hear and watch and see. But we have got to trust that this is the journey of life, that we're all just figuring it out because it's our first time at it. But I just need you to remember, friend, that you showing so much love to the people who matter most to you in your life is far greater than what is temporarily going on. I try to think, this is going to be hard now. This is hard for them and it's painful to watch, or I hate that they're hurting. I hate that this person hurt them or whatever. But I have got to believe that 5 years from now, this is just going to make them. This is just a part of their story. This isn't their story, the whole thing. It's not their whole book. And I just want to be a good friend. I want to be a good daughter. I want to be a good wife. I want to be a good leader. I want to be a good mentor. And I want to trust that. And so the best advice that I have is to respond in love, but still feel your feelings. And so how do you do that? You let this space be about them and not about you, right? And then give yourself time to process, because sometimes you go through a lot of different emotions of trying to process the information. And you have to, my mom always says, don't act out of emotion. Give yourself time to really recap and know how you want to respond, because we cannot take our words back. We cannot take our words back. So respond in love and just know that this conversation, this situation, this season is temporary. But I do believe that every hill, every valley, every mountain, everything stretches us, grows us, and makes us the best possible version of ourselves. Thank you for tuning in to Rewritten. I appreciate you. I'm so thankful that you tune in. Screenshot this. Let me know how this spoke to you. Again, I think just take everything with what I say with a grain of salt. We're not always going to see eye to eye. We're not always going to want to do things the same, and that's okay, my friend. I just wanted to share my advice on how I really do believe I've created a life to where I have a lot of wonderful people in my life that come to me with the hardest things. And I don't think that's an accident. I don't think that's because I'm the only person in their life. I truly believe it's because I've created a space of not judging them and only massively loving them. Even if it's been hard to hear, even if it's been tough to watch, I've just created a space that they can talk it out, because I want them to know that at the end of the day, they do have someone. Thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you later.